Hello there and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Monday, the 5th day of August 2024. We are coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue. On sign language, it is Senyomo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijana Goma. And we begin this bulletin in Kakumiro, where the Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, has commissioned construction of a community dam and access road and called upon residents to utilize government infrastructure and increase production. The commissioning was at Kasingo Village, Kakumiro Town Council in Kakumiro District.
The Prime Minister, Robina Nabanja, has appealed to residents of Kakumiro District to utilize government infrastructure and increase production and productivity. Nabanja promised to establish a demonstration farm in Kakumiro to show that farming is profitable.
Teknolojia na jemuulira ejja kubaawo. Enkoko zonka zikwenda yikeji. Ati njabulwa ika ibiri ezo ika isatu eze mido gente. Nkwenda yikemu eyenkoko nkwenda yika ibiri ezempunu akwa tukwenda kukole ekiju kiri ky'amaani ati kyabulwa yika 5 korora nkufamu yanyu nemba ninyeyagala kurungi tukwenda mother garden hakiri yika ibiri.
Nabanja says that all neighboring residents should utilize demonstration farm to increase household incomes.
Akusoma ne bamuwa obutungulu nagenda asesa bediye kubati kwenda kwa ingulirizibwa abantu baliranwa bange nywena muri bavu yati kwenda kubera mugayigo omu itwena tulinda kuba bagayiga president yaje kurambura narambura nowe narambura no.
The Kakumiro LC1 chairperson Innocent Katumba lauded government for the development ventures in the area.
Okutuletera amaizi gano itwena getugenda ganyirwamu tigaliga honalebo abani kukubagamba betu gayitu abekazi bekichweka so nkubasaba tusiime project ekozero nkichweka kino mama Prime Minister abo muhanda gunu itwenke cyaro cya Kasingo tugende tubona muno abo muhanda gunu.
The Chief Executive Officer AC Plantan, the manufacturers of Skip-on, Professor Kim Jong-myung, says their product protects plants from heat, increases heat tolerance, and prevents wilting caused by extreme heat and reduces watering frequency during the dry periods.
When you use a Skip-on, you cannot use any water for next 1 month. Comfort can get the drought and heat tolerance. And Skip-on can save a lot of water for agriculture. Skip-on can improve the productivity. Skip-on can increase farmers' income and decrease your labor.
The Ministry of Agriculture, Animal Industry and Fisheries is undertaking tests to ascertain viability and suitability of Skip-on for quality assurance.
Saddam Bale with that story there. Now, story just in, President Yoweri Museveni has revealed that he will be meeting cultural leaders in Uganda in September this year. The president says that the meeting will focus on sharing the national resistance movement government's vision with the cultural leaders. Dennis Sigoa reports.
President Yoweri Museveni made these remarks today while meeting a group of cultural leaders in Africa led by the Omukuka III of the Bamasaba Cultural Institution, His Highness Jude Mike Mudoma at State House Entebbe. During the meeting, the president implored the cultural leaders to sensitize their people to create wealth and uplift their livelihoods.
Our starting point is a question. Do you want prosperity in Africa or not? We ask a question. If you say you do, then the question is how? How will it be achieved? How will prosperity be achieved? Can it be achieved by begging Europeans? Our answer is that if begging was a solution, Africa should now be.
Museveni, who revealed that he will be meeting all cultural leaders next month, said as a government they have always advocated for prosperity among Ugandans. Museveni further explained that prosperity will come from wealth creation, and that is why government is sending money to the villages to create wealth for every homestead.
Producing a good or a service and selling it. Now, if you say that's the way to get prosperity, then the next question is who will buy what you produce? The buyer, the market. Our people must change, must become modern. They can't continue being the way they were before, and democracy. So this is what I want to share with the kings in September.
He also cautioned the leaders against bad politics of dividing people based on tribes, saying that it hinders development. On his part, the Omukuka expressed gratitude to President Museveni for the unwavering support towards the Bugisu sub-region. He further pledged that as Bamasaba Cultural Institution, they will continue working tirelessly to ensure the success of the parish development model and other government programs to build a brighter future for Ugandans.
The PDM has brought unprecedented development and empowerment to our communities, and we are witnessing tangible impacts on the lives of our people. Your Excellency, your commitment to inclusive growth and poverty eradication is truly commendable, and we are proud to be partners in this noble endeavor, Your Excellency.
His Royal Highness Tokwe Amenya 55, the president of the Forum of Kings, Queens and Traditional Leaders in Africa, also paramount chief of Aflao Traditional Area Ghana, thanked President Museveni for his spirit of Pan-Africanism and solidarity.
Your Excellency, your commitment to Pan-Africanism is not just a political stance, but a deeply held belief that has shaped your leadership and vision for our continent. You have consistently championed the cause of African unity, independence, and self-reliance, emphasizing the importance of solidarity among African nations.
Dennis Igor for UBC News.
Thanks, Dennis, for that story there. Now, the mover and seconders of the motion to impeach 4 backbench parliamentary commissioners have filed a notice accompanied by their evidence and a list of 189 signatures to the clerk to Parliament, who has to submit it to the Speaker of Parliament within 24 hours. Theodore Sechikubo urged the Speaker of Parliament, Annette Anita Among, to handle their motion as a matter of urgency and members of Parliament to come closer and attend the sitting for the debate on corruption in the August House. We have more in this story.
Movers and seconders of the motion to impeach 4 backbench commissioners, Esther Afoyo-Chan, Solomon Silwanyi, Prosia Kampura and Matthias Mpuga, for allegedly giving themselves 1.7 billion shillings in the name of service awards, have compiled evidence and signatures collected to attach on the motion to submit together with a notice to the clerk to Parliament. MP Sarah Opendi explains that the delay has been caused by ensuring that all signatures are photocopied in color.
Trying to get our copies, because these are original signatures that have been in a safe somewhere and they can be lost. So this is why we are trying to ensure that we have colored copies of these signatures. There are 20 sheets of paper carrying signatures of members of Parliament.
The mover of the motion, MP Remiaga County, Theodore Sechikubo, and seconders, Joseph Sewungu, and other members who appended signatures on the motion, marched to the office of the clerk to Parliament at 5 Monday evening and filed a notice. He said, at this stage of the motion, commissioners should resign.
The fight against corruption is resolute. We shall leave no stone unturned. The option available and remaining to the embattled commissioners is to resign. Let them not waste our time. We pray for the indulgence of the Speaker, since this is a matter of great public importance. Not even wait for the 14 days. The country is waiting. The country is waiting. So this matter should be placed on the order paper as a matter of urgency.
The seconders of the motion urge MPs to come in good numbers for the debate against corruption in Parliament, emphasizing that those who never appended signatures can utilize this opportunity.
You also take note of those who are against corruption and those who are in support of corruption. Those in support of corruption, you will have to treat them very well. 2026 is not far.
Some MPs allege the commissioners plan to financially support their opponents during the 2026 general elections.
Who are ready to use their corrupt money in order to fund our opponents, because we stood in the fight against corruption. We have only one word for you, that we are ready for you on the ground come 2026. Our voters, the people of Uganda, are no longer asleep.
Our voters, our electorates, please start having conversation with us, your members of Parliament, so that when this motion comes to the floor, it has it enjoys a broad spectrum of the entire House.
After filing the notice, the clerk to Parliament has 24 hours to file it to the Speaker, who also has 14 days to put it on the order paper for debate. Nafka Farida and Gloria Guitabenji at Parliament.
Now, police have arrested Reverend Father Dominic Alinga of Iriri Catholic Parish in Nakapiripirit district. Reverend Father Dominic is alleged to be the prime suspect in the murder of Uganda Revenue Authority employee John Bosco Gorok in Entebbe municipality. Preliminary investigations indicate that Alinga is still on suspension from the church over mismanaging offertory worth 6 million Ugandan shillings.
Reverend Father Dominic Alinga of Iriri Catholic Parish in Nakapiripirit district has been arrested in Tororo district for the alleged involvement in the murder of John Bosco Ngoroko, a domestic tax officer in Entebbe municipality, Wakiso district.
He was stabbed in the neck and head by an assailant who was unknown then. So we wish to announce that the key suspect in this murder has been arrested, is Dominic Alinga.
Based on the police investigations, Alinga has a criminal record and is on suspension for swindling church offertory of 6 million shillings.
We also established that he had been suspended from the church by the bishop on allegations of stealing an offertory worth 6 million shillings.
It's alleged that the late Ngoroko lent some money to Reverend Father Alinga and failure to pay back led to a conflict between the two. The police authority has also refuted torture claims against its officer at Central Police Station. The public is called upon to present evidence, pinning investigation supervisor Joel Tabu.
I also want to inform you that Central Police Station itself has CCTV cameras inside. So we don't have special rooms to interrogate suspects inside Central Police Station. So evidence will be readily available if at all the claims are true or not. So we are only appealing to members of the public to stop what we are currently calling misinformation against the officer.
In other development, police in Kampala Metropolitan raided criminal gang hotspots in Masoana, Makinde Division, and arrested 66 individuals suspected to be behind the criminality in the area.
The operation was successful, leading to the arrest of some of the dangerous criminals in that area. We also established that 4 out of the 8 suspects were already on our police intelligence watch list.
Meanwhile, in the Kampala East Policing Region, police have apprehended 4 youths for protesting at the Chinese embassy against China's investment in Uganda's oil and gas industry.
We are all aware there's been a group that has consecutively or several times come out to show their dissatisfaction of the Chinese or China getting involved in the oil exploration in Uganda here and drilling. So their issue is still the same. They want China to back out.
The weekly security crime report indicates high rates of domestic violence cases, where some have led to loss of lives. Abdul Nasir Lubama and Rogers Komagun for UBC.
Meanwhile, the Commissioner General of Uganda Revenue Authority, John Musinguzi Rujochi, has called upon security agencies to look at the general security so that Ugandans can work in a free and secure environment. He says young and energetic Ugandans are willing to serve the country but are killed under unclear circumstances that call for security agencies to tackle. The Commissioner General was speaking during a requiem mass for John Bosco Gorok at Uganda Matters Catholic Church, Chambogo. Late Gorok was one of URA staff killed on the 3rd of August in Entebbe. He is the second URA official killed in a spell of 1 month.
It's very, very painful. Honorable Nakut has just mentioned that we have very few people who succeed in education in where we come from. JB's death has left a very big gap, a puzzle that no one can cover. I have seen him growing. I know the family. We are all from a very poor background, but a few of us who go to school are game changers. And JB was among a few I could count on in my district who was a game changer.
JB is no more, killed by another dangerous person. Our prayer to you is that you will put your heads together and work to improve the security of our people, so that as young people continue to serve, they serve with assurance that they will not be hurt or harmed by those dangerous people in our communities. May justice prevail, so that there's a clear message is sent to those who do not value life, that there is punishment for taking away precious lives, like Zaria's life and JB's life, in a space of 1 month.
Left home for work. I have to go and work. Tell the father, work for money and bring for yogurt as usual. And also paying my fees. And the baby explained to him and told him, Mommy has just come from work. She has bought for me some things. Baby responded to her, have you told Mommy thank you? Said yes. Told the girl, be a good girl. Be a good girl.
Very sad there, and may the soul of JB rest in eternal peace. Now, 14 members of the Forum for Democratic Change FDC party Katonga faction, including 3 members of parliament, have been arraigned before Buganda Road Magistrates Court on charges of being a common nuisance. The group allegedly became rowdy and blocked pathways while attempting to stage an unlawful procession to the Kenyan High Commission in Kampala. Now, they sought an explanation for the arrest of 36 of their members in Kisumu, Kenya. The 36 members, including 1 woman, were extradited to Uganda by Kenyan authorities and charged with terrorism on July the 29th. They were later remanded to Luzira prison until August 31st. The group, led by MPs Ibrahim Semujunganda, Chira Municipality, Kamara Nicholas, Kabale Municipality, Deputy Mayor Doridi Nyanjura, and Harold Keija, marched to the Kenyan High Commission to deliver a petition questioning the arrests. Prosecution claims that the 14 suspects acted in a rowdy manner along Katonga Road, blocking pathways and causing a public nuisance. All 14 pleaded not guilty and were informed of their right to apply for bail. 5 were released on a 1 million shillings non-cash bail, while the remaining 9 were remanded to Luzira prison until August the 7th due to insufficient sureties.
We feel insulted. It's an insult to the accused person. These are responsible citizens. For heaven's sake, these are national leaders, they are FDC party leaders, and you charge them with being a nuisance. Can you imagine? And they were executing a noble cause of presenting a petition to the Kenya High Commission here regarding our colleagues who are incarcerated in Chitalia and Luzira on trumped-up charges of terrorism. And then we are taking a protesting note to the Kenyan High Commission here in Kampala to get their attention to this matter, to extract a statement from them, to explain to us whether they conducted extradition or deportation and so on and so forth. We needed to get the position of Kenya on this particular matter. We needed to get their statement. And you said they are a nuisance? Can you imagine? People who are seeking to get freedom and liberties of their colleagues, and you charge them with a common nuisance. People who are enforcing constitutional rights, people who are enforcing the Bill of Rights in our constitution, and you are saying they are a nuisance. It's an absurdity. But all in all, we have no choice in the matter. We shall have to come back here on Wednesday. It's unfortunate that the court did not grant them bail. Majority of them, only 4 were granted bail, and it was with due respect to the magistrate who is handling this, the trial magistrate. We are not convinced by the reasoning advanced as to why they are not granted bail. We are not really convinced because the magistrate has got has got widely discretionary powers to grant bail with or without sureties.
Now, representatives from sub-Saharan countries have converged in Kampala for the Sub-Saharan Africa Civil Society on countering financing of terrorism on the continent. African countries call for unity in the fight against terrorism.
The 2023 Global Terrorism Index report shows an increase of 50% death related to militia groups in Africa, with sub-Saharan Africa being most vulnerable. Civil society organizations in 25 sub-Saharan countries are in Kampala for a 2-day conference to share knowledge on combating the financing of terrorism while safeguarding civic space.
For us, if we were to solve a problem, if we appreciate that terrorism is a problem to humanity, the 50% of solving it is understanding that problem. So we can only understand the problem when we've educated ourselves. We've improved our awareness. We've brought everybody on board to understand what the problem is. What are the causes? What are the issues at hand? Why has it persisted? We all know what the role played by civil society. They provide an oversight to many government policies.
NGOs have an obligation and a duty to report suspicious transactions that in a way can be abused to finance terrorism. Now this is contrary to the international standards, and FATF, the Financial Action Task Force, was emphatic about it, that while Uganda has already conducted the risk assessment of NPOs that revealed that actually the risk of terrorism financing is low, it should rethink and repeal, it should amend this law that it removes NGOs from being accountable persons.
Terrorism financing has taken on new forms, from the use of digital currencies to more complex forms like charity organizations, smuggling of arms, assets and currencies. Governments and civil society organizations need to follow the current trends that identify the changing terrorism financing.
We are all aware that terrorism today is definitely taking different kinds of shape. It has become transnational, and overnight the shapes keep changing. So that means that we also have to keep pace with the dynamics. And in doing so, many countries have passed laws, have adopted several laws to countering financing of terrorism, to counter terrorism in the different countries within the sub-Saharan Africa.
A survey done in May 2023 on terrorism financing risk assessment by the National Anti-Money Laundering Task Force found out that NPOs operating with charity organizations were at risk of being abused for terrorism financing.
And we know that NGOs, many of them, of course, with their activities require funds, especially in terms of donation, in terms of charities. But also it was a realization that in the 9/11 attack that much of the money that was used to prepare that attack passed through charity organizations and CSOs.
The African Union Anti-Money Laundering and Financing of Terrorism Policy gives an insight on member states on combating terrorism financing. Acting head of disarmament, demobilization and reintegration, Christopher Suna, told the delegates that such trends need to end. If a country fails to regulate money laundering and terrorism financing, it risks being on the financial grey list, which limits regional and global bulk transactions. Marion Awori and Kenneth Tanaba for UBC.
Uganda Red Cross Society calls for increased investment in serving humanity as it intensifies its activities across the country as it turned 60 years of service in Uganda. Robert Kwesiga, the Secretary General, Uganda Red Cross Society, noted that they are in the process of setting up a Red Cross humanitarian fund that will deal with enormous emergencies that occur in the country.
Humanitarian fund to deal with increasing emergencies and outbreak. Kwesiga calls upon the public and the well-wishers to rally behind them and contribute to the fund for a well-structured, functional and responsive emergency care system.
And we are going to continue with the different activities of spectrum of what we do and how the public can work with us. And the climax, which will be later in the year, is around setting up what we call a Red Cross Humanitarian Fund. This Red Cross Humanitarian Fund, we are going to open it and very strict accountability and transparent measures with the Board of Trustees, with an international audit firm managing it, and we are telling each one of us that make a contribution, because the emergencies the Red Cross respond to, the preparedness the Red Cross works on, the early action, the mitigation needs resources, and those resources can be incrementally be made by each one of us making a contribution. And that fund will crown this 60-year celebration, and we can be in a better position to do more, do better, and serve humanity.
As Uganda Red Cross Society marks 60 years of existence, in Uganda, Kwesiga says that they still have challenges with resources to deal with early action, mitigation of calamities like climate change. The Humanity Needs You campaign comes at a time when Uganda Red Cross Society marks 60 years of dedicated service to humanity.
This period, this year, we are going to keep reminding the public that the Red Cross exists, the Red Cross to serve humanity. It is you and me and everybody to make it happen. We don't wait for those, the so-called external people who support humanitarian services. We as individuals, we can make it happen.
Zahara Abigaba, UBC News.
The Country Director, Worldwide Fund Uganda Office, Ivan Tumuhimbise, has called for urgent need to conserve and protect protected areas like forests and rivers, not only to live in harmony with nature, but also preserve our indigenous species. This was during the launch of the WWF annual report, which indicated numerous interventions around conserving protected areas in Uganda.
We do around the main protected areas in southwestern Uganda, ranging from Bwindi National Park, Mugahinga National Park, Queen Elizabeth National Park, Rwenzori National Park, and other National Forest Authority Central Forest Reserves. And the work we have been doing in this part of Uganda is basically restoring the degraded forests, supporting communities and for their participation in the conservation of the protected areas, specifically on conserving strong species which have been threatened by poaching, which have been threatened by habitat loss, and also threatened by climate change effects, which has changed the vegetation and the habitat generally in which wildlife lives. About strengthening capacity of civil society organizations and also communities, including indigenous peoples, to get involved in conservation work, but also to derive benefits from which we support work around livelihood support, building the skills for young people to get involved in tourism and other nature-based solutions, but also engaged in interventions that can uplift their livelihoods and live a decent life, so that their communities are able to coexist with nature.
Mbarara City Mayor Robert Kachebezi has commended government for improving education in the city. He made these remarks at the commissioning and handover of a 3-unit staff house at Nyamtiobara Primary School and a classroom block at Katojo Biharwe Primary School, valued at 132.5 million shillings and 121.5 million shillings respectively. We have more in this story.
Mbarara City Council have constructed a 3-unit staff house in a classroom block at Nyamitabora Primary School to improve teachers' welfare and education. The Mbarara City Mayor Robert Kachebezi called upon education experts to improve performance since their facilities at their disposal.
Started with handing over a 6-staff house unit at Nyamtiobara Primary School. And we are now here this afternoon to hand over a 3-classroom block, which is beautiful and which is well designed here at Katojo Primary School. And why are we doing this? We want to make sure that the child of this nation gets sustainable kind of education and studies from a very good environment. And even the teachers also sleep well and get even the energy of implementing and teaching our students very well. So we hope and pledge that these managements and the schools do their best to make sure that these students perform well, perform better, and we have a very educated population.
Mbarara City Education Officer Ezra Tuhaire says schools have tried to improve on their standards and urge them to continue with that spirit.
Now the fact that we have given you a new structure,
The Deputy RCC Robert Kanusu asked heads of schools to allow pupils and students without uniforms to study since the facilities are available.
This is the model school. You need to be wise in Angomana, the Muchi, Musomela Soka in Jile. Abazado Muaba Mede mubakoze ekitiribiita mubategekere ebyokulya bajje nabyo n'essomero lya bonna. That's how we can increase the numbers in this school. Kubanga abasomesa we bali ate n'abakulembeze mulabye bamaze okwekomitinga nti bajja kwongera okutereeza embeera y'essomero lino.
As fast as a cheetah you run, always come to my rescue, but just a point of concern. Did you register my bags? It's just a point of concern.
The academia and learning associates have refuted allegations that artificial intelligence will replace human workforce and create unemployment opportunities. Now, artificial intelligence is a computer system that performs a variety of advanced functions. This was during the 7th Deep Learning in the Box Uganda conference held here in Kampala.
The 2019 Act of Data Protection and Privacy Act provides for rights of persons whose data has been collected, obligations of data processors, collectors, and controllers. However, data privacy risks, access and authorization with artificial intelligence, generative and threats are some of the pertinent issues telecom companies, financial services, and digital services grapple with. It is against this background that Deep Learning in the Box Uganda has held the 7th In the Box conference with different stakeholders to discuss how to avert such complexities, but at the same time integrate advanced artificial intelligence.
But one of the things is that there are lots of ethical issues around it here and there that are required to be addressed by the different players that are using AI in finance. And one of these things is looking at things like explainable AI. Can we try to understand how the algorithms actually work and give us the output they actually do give us?
The director Deep Learning in the Box Uganda, Bruno Sechueri, asserts that artificial intelligence is the way forward for all sectors to develop.
In the different sectors, starting from education, from health, from finance, from agriculture, to mention but a few elements, because AI has come, it's a wave, and it's going to affect everyone in a positive way.
However, stakeholders refute the argument and debate of artificial intelligence replacing human workforce.
But AI is a supplement on how people can use AI. For instance, in employment, in companies, it's more of finding a middle ground on how AI can supplement human effort.
Because these generative tools or generative AI has been researched on for a long time. Yes, it may affect on how the impact on how the output we get from the students, by them using their mind to think. But on the other side, I think it reduces on the stress at the same.
Other participants had this to say.
How we can facilitate people to do the research that they want to do to help the communities.
The 7th In the Box Uganda conference has been held under the theme Ethical AI Horizons, Navigating the Impact of the Future of AI Across Diverse Sectors. Justin Nakami, Susan Nabugude, UBC News.
And others.
We'll take yet another short break and return with the latest in business.
MTN tusako Hajaruna Mbiru live in concert Friday nga mwenda August. Hajaruna Mbiru huyo kusenda hotel Rockton nga mwenda August. Monshoja atumye Hajaruna Mbiru live in concert VIP ya mtwalo 15 tukawa jigula ku momo ya mtwalo 10 hata meza ya milioni 3 nyiga kamunyenye mkaga 5 kamunyenye 20 kadara oba downloading momo app ogule ticket ku sente ntono nga 10 August Colin Hotel mukono ticket ya shinjo mtwalo 10 bo jigula ngo kosa momo jigula 15 VIP mtwalo 3 nga 10 August Maria Frema Saka shinje mtwalo 2 bo jigula ngo kosa momo ya mtwalo 10 VIP mtwalo 5 hata momo mtwalo 3 n'ekitundu bitegekedwa keti events wawulone biwagirwa.
MTN. Together, we're unstoppable.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah, yo, baby, don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks, Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at the latest in business. MTN Uganda has released the interim financial results for the 6 months ended 30th June 2024, revealing a robust 20.4% growth in service revenue. Now, the company's Chief Executive Officer, Sylvia Mulige, attributes this success to the resilience of both the connectivity and fintech sectors.
With a customer base now exceeding 20.7 million subscribers, MTN's revenue growth has been fueled by extensive network investments and an enhanced customer value proposition, which has significantly improved the customer experience.
To 1.5 trillion Uganda shillings. Our voice has continued to perform well. It grew by 15.1% to 626.7 billion. Data revenue grew by 28.7% to 373.5 billion.
The fintech segment in particular has shown impressive growth with a 23.5 year-on-year increase.
While fintech revenue grew by 23% to 442 billion. We have continued to invest in our network, and we saw our investment over the period increase by 8.6%. To 219 billion, and this volume growth that we saw on our top line had a positive impact in terms of our bottom line. We saw our profit increase to 295%, which is representative of 29.7%, and based on this good performance, we were able to get an approval from our board for the first interim dividend payout for 2024 at Uganda shilling 6.6 per share, totaling 147.8 billion shillings.
The mobile money business experienced a remarkable 25.7% growth, reflecting strong performance in the area.
We've acquired 1.6 million customers from June last year to June this year. Those are net additions, customers that are new onto Momo, and that's where it starts from. But also the agent network. We have increased our agent network significantly, as you've seen in the numbers. I don't want to dwell onto the numbers, but you'll see that from the beginning of this year, we went very aggressive in terms of agent acquisition. It's something that we had stopped doing in 2022, but we did resume from the beginning of this year to really increase the number of touch points for our customers. But not just increase the number of touch points, but also address liquidity needs in the market.
The multinational telecommunication company commits to sustain its commercial momentum in the second half by continuing to partner, innovate and increase solutions that meet an ever-evolving market as technology advances. Dennis Igor for UBC Business.
Members of Busia Women Cross-Border Cereal Traders Cooperative have been urged to take advantage of government programs to create wealth and eradicate poverty. The appeal was made in is a member meeting with the interim party ambassador Nekesa Barbara Awondo. That is when this appeal was made.
Busia district leaders have urged government to increase on the money for Uganda Women Entrepreneurs Program WEP due to increased number of registered groups.
Follow up to see that bali abafunako ku WEP oba babadde mu bibina ebirala kakati bakuze business zikuze. Now their capital is big.
In an engagement with 170 members of the Women Cross-Border Cereal Traders Cooperative, the National Treasurer for the NRM Party, Ambassador Nekesa Barbara Oundo, urged women to work hard and take advantage of government programs to create wealth.
Because when it comes to fighting poverty, it is a personal war. Everyone must rise up, change our mindset and realize that we have to do it for ourselves. So
her sentiments were echoed by the District Department Officer Okumu Semo, who expressed the need for women to be sensitized on the new transformational government programs.
We are trying as much as possible to position our women okubateekateeka mulabe nti musobola competinga mufune ku grant eyo.
Nekesa adds that most Ugandans think that after elections the NRM party forgets them, which is not the case because the manifesto is implemented through the new term of office. Additionally, support to the women was emphasized and their contribution to the economy was recognized.
If we don't intervene, then we shall continue exporting raw materials with little value added, and we cannot get enough resources out of it. So the intervention here is to see how our mothers, brothers and sisters can come up and start adding value to the products that they send to the Kenyan market. So that
Honorable Nekesa Barbara, the 5 million, we hope to improve on our machine. We are planting a maize mill for value addition and we shall provide the employment. We still need more money to complete, like for power.
The NRM party treasurer launched the mobilization campaign with the NRM party structure members for President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni visit to the district on the 9th of this month.
Now, wherever the president meets our wananchi, it informs them or updates them about the progress of development by the NRM government and the available opportunities that they can tap into for purposes of poverty eradication. So we felt we needed to come together, have a common message and massively mobilize to ensure the success of this event.
So I think we are now ready. We have been flagged off officially as the NRM lead, other leaders, and all the fraternity of the people who support NRM, and even our friends from other forums. So I believe as we move on, we shall be able to deliver a sizable number that should be able to listen to the message from the president.
Now, the Universal Apostles Fellowship Church is planning to construct a youth skilling training college to tackle unemployment among youth in Buswaga sub-region. The church team leader, David Isanga, told a gathering at Magwa Main Church that the youth population has hit 75% but without any form of employment.
The increased youth unemployment rate in Uganda could be related to the family but has become everybody's responsibility. It therefore calls for collective responsibility in giving skills to the youth. The team leader, Universal Apostles Fellowship Church of Righteousness, David Isanga, says the church has engaged youth to expose them to entrepreneurial skills.
It has gotten a very big farm that's located at Nakaseke, and this this farm we rear animals, we do farming of different aspects. So the youth, almost all people are empowered. They are trained. We have different departments now, like those pertaining into piggery, rearing of goats, rearing of cows, then agriculture, farming. We grow crops of different types. You have almost every type of crops.
The church will also establish a skilling college for youth and train them to be self-reliant.
And we have even the intention of building a skilling center, a college within that same place, to make sure that this one trains more people across all Uganda and even beyond, to make sure that people have gotten the knowledge that can really help them develop or earn a living. Because if somebody is empowered with skills, then he will not be a burden to the government, even to himself.
He was addressing youth at the main church in Magwa, Jinja City. The Patriotic Youth Crusade will address sexual immorality, general crime, violence, and corruption. The youth welcomed the church skilling program and appealed to government for support.
I learned how to rear goats, and I also have a rabbit farm. My farm is located in Kayunga.
So therefore, the government should be in line with Prophet David to support the youths.
Sports news now, and Uganda's camp at the Paris 2024 Olympics has today been calm and awaiting action on the track to continue with Leonard Chemutai going in the steeplechase as Tarsis Orogot contests the 200 meters. 5,000 meters runner Oscar Chelimo arrived in camp and joined others, including Tom Drodriga, who will contest the 800 meters on Wednesday.
So far, I thank all Ugandans for giving us support. And, I pray that you continue with the spirit as we deliver our goals and we raise the country flag up. Here, the weather in Paris is good. Yeah, and I know we shall do something good.
How has it been like since you arrived on Friday?
The situation is good here, and everything is moving on smoothly. Do I leave you with the weather,
or we read it now and then we talk?
Okay, is there anything you wish to communicate to Ugandans?
I just want to thank you once again and continue to support us, and we are making our level best to do what we can do to make our country proud.
And that was the story coming in from Paris, and of course UBC is being represented there by John Burns Centam, who is always giving us updates on what is going on at the Olympic Games. And that story almost brings us to the end of this bulletin, but before we leave you, let's have a quick look at the weather forecast with Nanteza Juliet at the Weather Center in Entebbe.
Later on, some areas had some cloudy conditions. My name is Juliet Nanteza with the latest weather forecast from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. When we take a look at the satellite imagery, it shows that north and the northeast are active because the rain belt is mainly in the north. Other areas, rains received are due to the local effects. As we wake up for your Tuesday morning central, we expect to wake up with sunny intervals in most areas. Eastern, we also expect to wake up with sunny intervals together with the western stretch. In the north, we expect active rains in most areas. Later on in the afternoon, maximum temperatures are expected to rise to 28 in Kampala. Elsewhere, we expect a maximum of 29 with sunny intervals. Eastern, along Lake Victoria Basin, we expect a maximum of 29 with sunny intervals, and elsewhere we expect some light showers. The western stretch, Kasese, we expect a maximum of 30 with light showers. Masindi, we expect a maximum of 28 with light showers. Kabale Highlands, we expect a maximum of 25 with sunny intervals. In the north, we expect a maximum of 29 in most areas with thunder showers. For some of the world cities, Dubai, we expect a maximum of 42 with sunny intervals. Nairobi, we expect a maximum of 23 with sunny intervals. Cairo, we expect a maximum of 40 with sunny conditions. And London, we expect a maximum of 23 with cloudy conditions. That's all we had for you from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. Have a blessed night.
And that is the weather forecast for tomorrow. And we've now finally come to the end of this bulletin. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it has been Senyomo Yusuf, and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
Shocking statistics on road crashes in Uganda show that there were over 23,608 road accidents in a single year, 2023. This highlights an increase of 16% compared to the previous year. The Uganda Traffic and Road Safety Report of 2023 also shows that there were 24,728 casualties from road crashes, with 4,806 people dead, 16,736 seriously injured, and 3,186 escaping with minor injuries. The rampant increase in the number of road crashes and casualties in Uganda is seriously alarming. According to Uganda Police Traffic Report, 80% of road crashes in Uganda are as a result of speeding, reckless driving, and violation of traffic rules and regulations. Your life and that of other road users matters. Every life taken or injured in a road crash is an emotional loss to a family, resource loss to a business, development contribution loss to a community, and a socio-economic loss to the nation. Join hands together to reduce and, if possible, eliminate road crashes from our roads by avoiding reckless driving, obeying traffic signs and rules, and maintaining public safety intelligence to keep ourselves, passengers and other road users safe at every time.